Hey guys, so today we're gonna do a 2-in-1 video. We're gonna do ranch seasoning and we're also gonna do ranch dressing. So the way that I came across this was because I was not gonna be the kind of keto person when I started doing this a while back, where I was gonna make everything from scratch. Store-bought was fine, that was no big deal at all, but then I started to find that I just couldn't find a ranch dressing that was compliant, that had the low enough carbs, and that was clean eating, that also tasted good. It just didn't taste right. So I kind of went through some recipes, kind of tinkered with them and found one that I like. So this one's super, super easy. That's another thing I like. We're gonna start with the seasoning first, obviously, because you need that to make the dressing, but you're gonna be shocked at how easy it is. Another thing that was very important about this one is that I did not want to have to use any kind of blender or anything like that. It's just plain old simple. So let's start with the seasoning first, and these are gonna be the items that you're gonna need. You're gonna need 3/4 cup of parsley. You are going to need 1/3 cup of garlic powder. You are going to need 2 tablespoons of salt. And if you haven't heard by now, obviously the favorite salt of all the keto, low carb community is the pink Himalayan salt. It's got lots of good minerals and things that you need. I've liked it since I've been using it, so we'll go with that. You're also gonna need 2 teaspoons of pepper. And then lastly, 1 tablespoon of dill weed. So those are gonna be the items we're gonna mix together to make the seasoning. And then the seasoning, it's gonna make a ton. So you can use it for other recipes, casseroles, dips, whatever. But obviously this one today we're gonna use for our ranch dressing, okay? So let's get started on the seasoning first. So the first thing I'm gonna go with is, looks like 3/4 cup of parsley. So we're gonna go with that. And again, I know it's a ton. Close enough. Parsley doesn't really taste like anything anyway, right? So that takes care of that. Next, we're gonna need 1/3 cup of garlic powder. And garlic powders, I mean, obviously goes into pretty much everything we make around this house. We love garlic, but you don't want to get too crazy with it. It doesn't make a whole lot of difference with keto, but it does add up. There aren't a lot of carbs, but they do add up. Everything technically has carbs for the most part. Okay, so there's that. Next, we're gonna need 2 tablespoons of the pink Himalayan salt. So we're gonna go 1 and 2. Now this is gonna last you for about 6 weeks, and probably even longer. That's just the safe zone, but we keep, I mean, seasonings like this for a long time, but we go through it quite a bit when I'm making more recipes and things like with the ranch, so, you know, but it might last you for a long time. What do we need next? Pepper, I think, yeah, 2 teaspoons of pepper. So we're gonna go 1 and 2. Regular black pepper, nothing fancy. And lastly, we're gonna use our dill. I don't know much about how all these things work, but I swear this is what makes the biggest difference. So this is 1 tablespoon of dill weed. Know what people used to call people in elementary school dill weed? I think before we learned, you know, curse words. Okay, so 1 tablespoon of dill weed. Okay, and that honestly is it. Is the easiest thing in the world. That's all you need for your ranch seasoning. We're just gonna mix this up, get everything good and married to each other in here. Easy, easy, easy. Okay, and then after we do that, I just put it in a Ziploc bag. You can put it in a mason jar. You can put it in any kind of like dry container where it'll stay nice and at home in your pantry. Okay. But we're not gonna put it up today because obviously we're gonna make the ranch dressing. So we're gonna start with that next, and we will put this aside for now. So with the ranch dressing, like I said, I was always looking for something that was clean eating, but that also tasted really good, like restaurant quality. And I think this one, well, we like it at our house anyway. Even Mark, who doesn't always eat low carb or keto, even he likes it. So It's easy also though. I swear it won't take you but like 10 minutes to do both of these if you had to. But first we're gonna start off with, we need 3/4 cup of mayo. Now I know a lot of the low carb keto people make their own mayo. That's fine. I swear I would never make my own dressing, and I am, but I, to this day, am still not making my own mayo, and it's like 2 years later. And even though I'm getting back hardcore on the keto again, I'm not going to make my own mayo. Duke's is the best, because what I've been told, so I go with that till I hear differently. So this is what you want to go with for your mayo, nice and eggy. You're also going to need 3/4 cup of heavy cream and 3/4 cup of Daisy sour cream, or just regular sour cream. So I love this one also because that part's easy to remember. 3/4, 3/4, 3/4. That's all you need. And then you'll need the ranch seasoning. So we start off with, I start off with the sour cream because I use the same spoon because I'm a minimalist and I don't like mixing mayo into the sour cream, but I don't mind if sour cream goes in the mayo. So what am I doing here? I need my 3/4 cup. I know, and Mark always tells me I use the wrong measuring cups for things, but I don't care. This gets it to where I need it to be. So we're gonna go, that's about 1/2 cup. Put this down so it makes it a little easier. Probably about 3/4 cup in here, since we used some of this for fajitas the other day. All right, so that's about 3/4 cup. I'm gonna put this in our bowl. And again, measurements aren't, exact. If you get close, it's gonna be good. Unless you're baking, it doesn't have to be exact. All right, so there's that. Then next we're gonna do our mayo. And I swear, I was never a person who I thought mayo was mayo, but this Duke's is so good. It is probably my favorite I've ever had. And another thing too is once you start making your own dressings, it kind of ruins you on what's in dressing. You start to realize just how much mayonnaise is in there, and it's like, oh. If you were eating a regular diet, this would definitely not be a great idea because it's a lot of fat. Mixed together with those carbs, no bueno. But since we are doing low carb, bring it on. All right, so that puts our sour cream and our mayo, and we're gonna take our, now I've confused myself again. Yep, there we go. Now we're gonna take our nasty measuring cup, and again, this is where Mark would tell me I'm not using the liquid measuring cup, but that's okay. And we're gonna do 3/4 cup of the heavy cream. There we go. And get all that goodness in there. And lastly, we need 2 tablespoons of our ranch seasoning that we just made, or that you made previously if it's been a while back. I'm gonna do 1 and 2, making sure we get everything in there. All right. Now again, this is what I said. I made the mistake the first time I did this, put it in the NutriBullet. I tried the blender once. It just didn't work. It came out really just runny and not even tasting good. I don't know. I have no idea why. I'm not a scientist, but all I know is that I just take my little whisk and I take my bowl, looks about like that, and I just start working. I'm left-handed, so I always start off left-handed because obviously that's my predominant hand. But then I forget how strong with my right hand I am. So I switch over and then bam, that takes us to the next level. And now we're really mixing stuff up. So you want to cool this, or chill it rather, for about an hour, and especially to really let everything get in there and like mix really well and let the flavors come out. But honestly, I never wait that long. I start eating it right away. It's just gonna look just like that. This is a good consistency. If you want it a little runnier, you can add a tad bit of water. You can add a little bit more cream if you want, and if you similarly want it a little bit stiffer, if you want it more like an actual like dip, you could add a little bit more mayo or sour cream. And that is really it, as simple as that. Now, you can also put this, if you want to store it, obviously this is going to last you for about a week. It's going to make about 2 cups. So I usually put it in one of our just little containers here and stick it in the fridge. Same thing as before, mason jar or whatever. Just pour this in here. I've also noticed that it tends to thicken up quite a bit after about 24 hours. And actually every day it'll start to, seems like it's a little thicker, so I'll mix a little bit of water, but a little goes a long way. I learned that lesson the hard way. So just put a little bit of water in there. shake it up. There we go. So this way, you make your own. It's not that expensive. You're using things you usually already have. When you buy the seasonings that go into the ranch seasoning, that's like a one-time every 2 months, you know, purchase, and because this will last you for a while, 6 weeks. So anyway, that's all there is to it. If you like this one, let me know. Just go ahead and click like below. Subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of stuff. That way I know you guys are enjoying it. Like I said, you know, we just miss seeing our friends since we can't really go anywhere and do anything. I've kind of got back on keto hardcore after kind of getting a little loosey-goosey with it for a while. But anyway, like I said, that way we'll see. I've had a couple of friends tell me, hey, you know, what do you eat? Like when you go on keto, like what do you like to have for dinner and like snacks and how do you make certain things? So that's kind of where this all came from. So anyway, so like I said, if you want to go ahead and click subscribe, I would really appreciate that, as well as like the video and just tell me anything that you have to say in the comments. And other than that, yeah, so I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.